Oh, yeah, Tuesday of for the Cindy Cochran Show. And we're here 5 days a week, you understand. So, you can come in anytime you want to, any morning you'd like to. And if you can be with us all week, it's even more fun because then the stuff that we say, you become an insider. And you go, oh, I know what she's talking about. I remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember when he said that. But, I remember when I first got married to my husband. He was 7 years old. He is 7 years older than I am. And all his friends, he'd had all these friends forever. And we only hung out with his friends. And everybody had stories. And they were always, remember when we did that? Remember when we did that? And I couldn't wait till I had those kind of experiences so I could be part of the gang and remember when somebody said what or what somebody did something. And it was fun. Except when, here was the only problem. My husband is an avid deer hunter. And all his deer hunting friends, they've been hunting for like years. And they tell the same stories over and over again. It's like they're real old guys and they can't remember they've told the story before and before. And I've probably told this story before, but maybe you just started listening. But it got to be ridiculous that they would start telling him, and I could lip sync what Sam, my husband, was getting ready to say because I'd heard these stories so many times. And every party, every place we went, and I go like, yeah, I remember that. And even if I interrupt by saying, oh, I remember you told me that, it didn't matter. The story continued. It's like once the flow happened, it never stopped. Because those deer hunting stories were just their way of, I don't know, is it, I'd have to ask probably a guy, like, exactly why is it you have to tell these over and over again? And what is so important about the deer hunting thing? What is the deal about it? What do you gain from it? But it sounds like their manhood. It was just they talk about these things, and they're so important, and they laugh. The same amount of laughter and the length of the laughter and all that about the funny stories that's happened. And that's just their little camaraderie, their club and whatever. And today I was supposed to have, Sam, my husband, had agreed to, let me interview him on his way to the next deer hunting session. I mean, they just got back and he said they're leaving on Tuesday and they're gone for so long. I can't imagine how much fun that must be for them to go in this little teeny house. Now, it would be different if they had some big cabin, those redwood cabins where there's deer, the heads on the wall and all that stuff. And it looked very manly, but it's comfortable and it's very, luxurious. I can see that. But boy, what they had to come down to, they had a camp house. And that was okay. That was all right. They could come in and it had air conditioning and heating and beds and, and a great kitchen, huge table and all that. I understand that. That could make sense. But they got thrown out of that because the man who owned it needed it for his cowboys and his workers of this big ranch. And so he said, I'll give you 10,000 more acres if you'll stay with me, stay on the lease. But you're going to have to move down to this a much smaller house. It wasn't even a house. It was like a little shack, so small, and I can't even describe how bad it was. But it looks horrible, and it could sleep maybe 5 or 6 guys. They've got 10 guys on this deal, and I think they even got just 2 more recently. And so they go down to this place, and these are horrible conditions. And it's cold and it's wet down there and it gets real muddy if it rains and all, but they still love it. And they've gone down there like 3 or 4 times, fixing it up, getting it all fixed up. So, and I don't know how they got it fixed up. I'm sure they didn't flip it, that thing. It was a total flop. No flipping with this thing, but they get excited about going. So he wasn't supposed to leave until about 3:00 this afternoon. He was going to be on the show with me and talk about what deer hunters get out of this escape that they find in deer hunting. And I know there's a lot, and it's great camaraderie. I know that the fathers take their sons there, and their sons get their first hunt. They kill their first deer. They have so much that bonds them during that time. But brother, why they love this place. I don't know, but they've got 10,000 more acres, so I guess they can stay out longer from having to be in this little place. But here's the deal, the wives. Now, I didn't know this until after Thanksgiving. I said, so what'd y'all eat, turkey sandwiches and stuff? And he said, no, so-and-so's wife sent this huge, turkey stuffing and all that. And another wife sent steaks and salmon because she knows Sam likes salmon. She sent that and all these side dishes. I was going to send some tuna fish dip, but I didn't even do that. I felt so bad that all the other wives, I didn't know they were doing that. I didn't know. He never said that. I mean, it's probably just because it was Thanksgiving. Okay. But still, good grief. So now I've got to think of something I can send for Christmas when they go down for Christmas. But they're off again. And he decided, my son decided he wanted to leave early. So he called him just about an hour ago and said, Dad, I'm ready to go right now. Let's go. And I said, oh, you're going right now? But you can't be on the show. And he goes, well, there's no way. And there's no way I can do it while I'm driving. So you're just going to have to, I'll do it another time. Like, call Carl, his best buddy Carl. So I called Carl. Oh, no, man, I can't because I'm trying to get all this work done so I can leave to go hunting. And I can't do it. So I called a couple other people. Everybody's on the way out of town. This is the big rush right now. People are going out of town to go do their deer hunting. And then they're still going to go at Christmas. It may be the day after Christmas, but they'll still get that other hunt in. And I'm glad that he can do this with my son. He and Chad really do, have a very special relationship because of all the hunting and all the stories and all the things they did. But I was going to tell you the stories that they kept telling over and over again. The wives finally decided, I've had enough of it. It's so ridiculous. I mean, we all know these stories. They keep telling them, and you feel like you're talking to someone that has been stricken with Alzheimer and that they don't remember any of this, that they've said this over and over again. So we started numbering the stories. So when they would go, tell the story, we gave it a number, and it shortened the time that we had to be together. They finally agreed to it. They say, okay, y'all remember number 3, and they'd laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And it got to be a thing, but they forgot about it to even do that. Now they're back to telling the stories again. So you just have to live with it, I guess. I know there are a lot of deer hunting widows out there, my daughter-in-law being one of them. And what she's learned from her precious mother-in-law that's been through all this, the crying, the tantrums and all that, about how much time they take away, is to learn to do those things that, he wouldn't do normally with you because he doesn't like to go to this show or that show or, go places with your friends. Then you take your friends and y'all go do something together, and that's their time. But when he comes back, he feels guilty enough that wherever she wants to go, wherever she wants to do, she can go do that, and he'll watch the baby, and she can go have fun. That's so nice. Sam never offered that deal. He'd say, well, you want to go somewhere? I'll take you somewhere. You want to go eat? Or you want to go to? No, I want to go away for a week at a time and go just do what I want to do, what makes me happy and makes my heart sing. So anyway, if you're a deer hunter, please be sweet to your wife and offer her some kind of compensation for you being gone and being, and you're not just gone that week. It's all that preparation of getting ready and packing and all. Like you're going to summer camp like every other week. And that you be sweet to her and let her have some time off, be kind and appreciate where she's coming from. And when you come back, ask her all the things that she's been doing, what's been fun and how much you missed her. And please text her once in a while. At least text her once in a while. And not just, send pictures back of the deer that you killed or that you're gutting or whatever, those kind of things. Just send something sweet and kind and just tell her how much you love her. Now, Sam will, will send a text once in a while. They don't have good reception, he said, out there. So he sends a text once in a while. That's really, really sweet. I can tell that about that time that they're sitting around the campfire and they have their little toddy, and they sit and recall the past and all that. And I guess he gets melancholy, and he sends me a nice text. But the thing about it is that you've got all that control, guys. You can make them happy and be so happy when you come back, or make them happy when you leave and leave them some money. That would be a great deal. Just leave them some money, just a little bit of money. Don't make that your wife have to go to the checkbook and sneak out a check and write the check and go cash it and then tell you when you get back. Just don't make her do that. I don't know who does it. I know. I've done it from experience. Hey, listen, we got to take our first break, and when we're going to be back, and we're going to talk some sports. Yeah, we're going to talk some sports. Everybody got sick on me today. Jimmy the C is sick. So it's going to be me and you and Richard if he'll join in. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back. Don't you go away. We got some fun sports stories.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Have you set a goal to get a new job or get promoted? Have you ever been frustrated with resumes or job interviews? If you want to ace a job search and make more money, or just love what you do for a living, tune in to Your Career with Todd Bermont, Fridays at 2 o'clock. Each week, noted author and creator of the Careers College, Todd Bermont shares tips, news, interviews, and secrets you can use to further your career. Tune in Fridays at 2 o'clock p.m. on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and IRLoneStar.com.
Want to check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a non-profit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Thank you, Dennis. Wow. I got my earphones way
I like to get you.
Did you do that? All right.
Yeah, I did that.
You did that. Thank you. Blew my ears out. Okay. Listen, we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. We know you have a choice, and everybody was supposed to be on just dropped out on me today.
I almost dropped out on you.
Yeah, and you weren't here, and I really thought, wait a minute, something I've said. Maybe it was, I don't know.
I like when people always go to what they did to that other person. That's the reason.
Right.
That means you got a guilty conscience about something, Cindy. I was just sick this morning.
I'm so sorry you were sick.
I couldn't go on the air this morning. I was like,
do you spray these microphones after everybody's been here? You do not. You are such a. Where's the spray? Show me.
You mean
the
the Febreze?
Don't put Febreze on. We need a Lysol down because Deanie had.
Actually, that's really bad for him, so I'm not going to do that. So.
No, I know it. I'm just saying we need to do something.
Plus, we don't sneeze or we don't lick these either.
Who lick? Oh, why?
That's how the bacteria would really stay on it. If we sneezed directly into it,
right.
Or coughed, or
that's it. That's it. But people spit when they talk sometimes. Not me. I would never do that. But some people it comes out there. So you need to. It should be some kind of guard on there.
There is a guard on there. That's what you're speaking into.
Well, do you take these home and wash these at night or anything?
I'll start doing that for you right now.
Hey, listen, everybody, since you're on the Cindy Cochran Show.
I think that's another product of illusional safety, the illusion of safety.
Yeah, that's all I need. Just well, they.
Yeah, totally.
They're having
dip them in Clorox.
Right. Yeah, I'm telling you, when you go into, and you may not know this, Richard, but when you go into a nail shop, and I don't mean a nail like your fingernails shop. You go into a nail shop, and the smell that you are, hit with, it feels so caustic, and it is. It's because the chemicals that are coming off that stuff that they're doing. And I went to and had my nails done all the time. And then I realized, if they're all wearing masks and we come in here and we're not wearing masks, there must be a reason they're wearing that mask. I thought it was just the dust from whenever they're filing and stuff, that they don't breathe that in. But it's the chemicals that they're trying not to breathe in, because they know they're okay, they're safe, they're wearing these masks, but we are all breathing in the stuff. So Houston has come up with the first, I guess there's a non-toxic nail. Now, I mean, this has been going on for years and years and years, especially the nail phase that went through in the 70s, that everybody started, wearing fake nails, and you go and have them done. You have these long nails done. But you sit there and the smell was just, you felt like something was probably happening to you, but you didn't know what to call it or what the name was or to complain or anything. But finally, Houston's going to have the very first non-smelling and non-toxic nail place. So as soon as I find out what that is, they just kind of like blew by that on the news. Hey, did y'all hear about the new first? But they didn't say where it was. So I got to find out where that is. That will be interesting if that gets started. But I know that you're all waiting and, just hanging on to every word till I get to the sports. Richard's going to join me because Jimmy the C, couldn't make it today, and I just rely on him because all he does is eats, breathes, and lives, sports. I don't, but there are a few things that I've seen in the news that I thought were pretty interesting. The game that happened with the Colts and the Jets, I appreciate that. I have no connections to the Colts or the Jets. I have none. But I have an appreciation for that game because it made our Texans look better. Do you know what the score was on that?
No.
41-10.
Okay, yeah.
And that makes us look so much better, because at least we just lost by 7 the other night we were playing in Buffalo. Where was it we were playing?
So
Buffalo?
This is what this show's going to be, is me looking up all these stats for you so you don't confuse the listeners.
I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try and give them a stat.
Let me get my Cindy Cochran web browser open real quick.
It does. It has everything on there, so you can go to it. Like he's always fact checking me. Everybody got that? Okay. FACT checking me.
See, what you really should be talking about is the Super Bowl coming to Houston this year.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
But I mean, that's actually going to impact our listeners.
Are we going to carry it? Are we carrying it live? Can we carry it live?
What do you mean?
Are we going to hook up with somebody and carry the game?
Yeah, totally. We're going to get free tickets to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Then
I would be interested in it.
From...
That would be interesting. Now, it's going to be at the NRG. What's it called?
NRG.
NRG. It's going to be there, right?
Yeah, Reliant lost out.
They did. They couldn't hold in there. It wasn't big enough for the Super Bowl.
No, Reliant is the same. They just renamed it to NRG.
Oh, I'm talking about Toyota Center. I was thinking Toyota Center. I was kidding. I knew that they couldn't have it there. I knew that. Richard, don't look at me like that.
Well, they did. They are having it there. It's just called the NRG Stadium now.
Right.
Okay.
I couldn't remember what they changed it to. All I just knew was Reliant. And the Astrodome, Reliant, and NRG. Okay, so anyway, but you understand what I'm saying, that it makes you appreciate our team wasn't as horrible as you thought it was from when they lost. And they only lost by 7
points. One game. I mean, this is Houston sports. They're going to be awful long term.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, just
they're going to choke. They choked. They could have won that game this weekend. They choked.
If they'd have won that would have just been the snow was so horrible. I don't know how they did it. I mean, I can't imagine them adapting like that to the snow, like the other team could. But they lost by 7 points, right? And that was it, just 7 points, like 1 touchdown and a field goal is what they lost. But 41-10, what a boring whole game that must have been for the Jets fans, especially. Now, was it Oh, the guy, who was the quarterback for the Jets? It was real popular.
Mark Sanchez.
No, way back. I mean, I'm talking way back.
Again, why are we talking about this?
Well, because
neither of us know anything about
there's a really cool guy that was on there, and he would be turning over in his grave. No, he's not dead yet.
So I want to know.
He'd be very upset
this morning when you realized none of your guests were going to be in here who were experts.
Yes, I was
in your topics.
Yes, I had questions for them about this.
They're experts, though. It's safe to say that Sam is a proficient hunter.
Yes.
And Jimmy the C knows a lot about Houston sports.
So that's why I changed.
So when you knew they weren't coming in,
yeah,
you still continued to ask these questions to people like you and me who have no idea. Why not change the content today?
No, wait. Because I can talk about deer hunting from a deer hunter's wife's, angle. I can do that. I'm an expert in that. I got married in 1969, and he started hunting, I think, in 72. And then till now, he's been hunting every year. So I've gone through the trials and tribulations that you do when your husband first becomes a hunter, or he is a hunter already, and you get married and you think it's going to be really cute and sweet, and then it's not. It's very aggravating because they're gone so much and so long, and you feel like, wait a minute, I don't get to do that. It's a very selfish thing. But now I don't care. If he wants to go, that's great. I'm so glad he's happy. I'm more mature about it and all that. And you can get over this. You just have to work at it. So that's okay for me. Now for sports, I grant you. But I wanted to ask, I wanted to talk to Jimmy about the Colts and the Jets game, how bad it was. How could it be 41-10? That's a professional football team. That's 41-10. They usually don't get up that high, do they? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Not that, those big numbers.
There's always at least one game like that.
Okay, well, they've had theirs, and that's terrible.
One game a week, some team just doesn't have an offense, and they get stopped. I mean, that's what happens to the Texans. I mean, the Texans scored 13 points both in this game and last week's game. Mm-hmm. Their offense just sucks.
Yeah, see, now you've got them. You're looking at it on the computer.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, there was a game 27-9, and there's another game 27-0 from the Texans. So yeah, there's always a game once a week that's like that. Someone just gets annihilated. Well, the nice thing is we're going to play the Colts again. That's our next game.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's going to be exciting because they get crushed, and we barely beat them last time we played them. So we won in overtime with the field goal. So that's going to be the two losers playing each other. Those are always fun to watch.
Yeah, that's it's been pitiful, so pitiful. We thought this might be the breakout season. I remember talking to Jimmy about okay, this is it. They're going to be great.
Well, what's nice is that there's 4 more games left, and 3 of those games we're playing a team again that we beat this year. So there's
a possibility that
if you're a gambler, I wonder what the odds are.
But is the football has a wild card? Can they win?
We might. Let me see where
it has to be like other teams losing and us. Other teams losing, and for us to do anything, it's so sad. Because we loved our blue. They ought to change that and just give it over that to the policeman. Love you blue, and let them have that logo and the whole thing. That would be good. You remember Love You Blue? No, you don't remember Love You Blue? Surely you've seen that. You've studied the history of.
I've seen Old School, and then I Love You Blue. I've seen that.
That's sad. Here's somebody who doesn't remember Love You Blue. Okay, guys, we'll be right back after this. Don't go away. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
Hello, I'm Bonita DeRosa, Animal Control Officer for the City of Willis. We invite you to tune in to Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. for the Willis Hour. On the first Thursday of the month, the Willis Hour will be covering upcoming events and news about the city. Join in the conversation with your city officials and other leaders in the community. On the 3rd, we will be doing a recap of the last City Council meeting. The mission of the City of Willis is to provide high-quality services, accountability, and professional commitment to our citizens. We pledge to provide those who live, work, and visit our city an effective government that is open and responsive to the needs and values of the community. Again, we invite you to tune in on Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 for the Willis Hour.
If you are looking to start a career, you can start your professional life in the U.S. Army. I am Staff Sergeant Stephen Jackson. My fellow soldiers and I can talk with you about learning high-tech skills in electronics and computers as a soldier. Interested in the medical field? The Army has skilled medical and dental jobs that set you up for future success. Come visit us at 2109 West Davis Street, directly behind the Whataburger on Highway 105, or give us a call at 936-756-7002.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Touchdown. Good morning. Good morning again, everybody. It's still the Cindy Cochran Show. Yes, it is. I was just arguing with Richard. I know that it surprises you, but because we do not argue on the air, do we, Richard? We just talk mean to each other.
No, I was just trying to bring it up that, when you start asking me questions about football, I don't know. And then...
Well, when you always talk with, like when Jimmy calls and you'll talk to him like,
yeah,
how about those Texans?
Jimmy's the actual informative
yes.
one. So if we
He
do
is.
actually have questions, it's not, hey, what is the score? And then we don't hear anything from me because I have to look it up. So it's...
Okay. Just having a little
There's just a certain
discussion.
flow.
There is a flow, but the flow got dammed up today. So
yeah,
and so we're going with it. But tomorrow, I got to tell you, tomorrow we have Craig Campobello with us, and Campobello around this area holds a lot of weight. That name does a lot of gold weight, doesn't it, Richard? Craig is the guy who sculpted the Lady of Liberty that stands like 6 feet tall and is in front of the Spirit of Texas Bank. And that's on 105 in downtown Conroe. So you who are not close to this, we'll try and send a picture to let you see what that would look like. But if a lot of you in this area that could drive by there, after you've driven through the neighborhoods with all the Christmas lights on them, then be sure and come down and drive past the Spirit of Texas Bank. And you will see the most amazing building you've ever seen in your whole life. And in front of it sits this gold, and this is real gold leaf statue of Lady Liberty that was sculpted by the artist who's right across the street from us, Craig Campobello. He also just finished his work of Red Duke. And if you're in this area, a lot of people know Red Duke, even if they're not in this area. He's a very famous surgeon, and he was... extremely famous here in around the Houston area. And so when he died, he did this bust of him, and it was incredible. When I walked in, I almost started crying because this looked like Red Duke. And he was an amazing character, a real character. And he would wear this weird cap that he wore for his hospital cap. And it was just him. There he was sitting there. And Craig is an amazing sculptor. And so then it now sits down in the medical center, and everybody, goes by there and sees him. There he is in all his glory. And he'll be there for a long time because of Craig's great work. But he's now working on, he works on the really interesting different subject matters. And there's a story about a guy who's in the Army that took a line for communication to be able to do it in World War II. And he took this line and took it over a minefield and to be able to help, our side during the war. But he was under fire, and he's got this whole scene of him, taking this this wire and all the stuff he's having to carry on his back and showing what happened. And this was done. His family asked this to be done. It's an amazing story. So Craig's going to be here tomorrow, and he's going to tell us about the story and how that all happened. And then we'll make sure that we get a picture up so you can see what he's talking about. It is just amazing. But not for long. We're going to have to keep doing that. All of you that have Suddenlink will be able to soon be able to see the shows as well as listen to them, because they're going to have them on cable. We'll have it on Channel 12 here in this area. And so that's extremely exciting, so that you can see a lot of these things that I keep trying to describe, just totally lost for words, because there's no words to describe some of the stuff, especially what Craig does. So when you see that, and he's also in a Mayan phase right now where he is making these beautiful colors, and all the Mayans are so colorful, and he's doing sculptures of the different, some scenes that are just breathtaking. So anyway, I'll have him on tomorrow, and he will talk all about that. And I can't wait for that, because he is an amazing guy, and he's across the street from us, and he's got his little studio there, and people can walk in and see his work, and it's right here on Main Street. So Craig Campobello tomorrow, and then the next day we have Don Wilson, and this is going to be amazing, because I haven't talked to Don for a while, and he was the one who was mentored by Elvis after his family was died in a car crash. So he's going to be with us tomorrow. He has so many stories, so many stories. He would go back and forth from Memphis to come back to Houston. He was living with his grandparents, and but Elvis wanted to take him under his wing, because he felt so horrible for this kid. He's like 15 years old, loses his whole family, everybody except him. He was with his grandparents, and they were hit by a train. So we want to talk to him tomorrow, and he's been on the show before. So if you want to look up Don Wilson in the archives, in the Cindy Cochran Show at YouTube and SoundCloud. So any shows that you've missed and you think, man, I've got to listen to our other shows, I'm sure they're better than this, be sure and go to YouTube or go to SoundCloud and search the Cindy Cochran Show. So he'll be here, and he's going to talk about Joe Esposito, who was one of the Memphis Mafia. And if you ever saw a picture of Elvis and his crowd around him, Joe is always right there on his right hand man is right there. And they would be, they make sure Elvis, didn't get any trouble. They make sure that Elvis was protected, and their whole life was given to him. And Don was best friends with Joe Esposito, and he just passed away recently. And so we want to talk about some memories he has of Joe and whenever they were all together, and how, that group, that mafia group that they called them, Memphis Mafia, kind of was always surrounding Elvis and went everywhere he went. And I would even see him show up in movies and stuff like that they were always there with him. So I can't wait to talk to him again. And then on Friday, of course, Friday is when we figure out all the things that we can do here in this area. There's so many things going on. We have 2 theaters here downtown where you can go watch live plays that has the same level of talent that you would go to Broadway to see. So it's like you can't believe you're in this little small town, Conroe, Texas. You walk into this theater. This theater at the Crichton has the most amazing architecture, and it's like going back in time, and you feel like what it would have been like in the 30s or something to go to a play. It's so beautiful, and they have the talents there. So if you guys want to see some things that you'll be like amazed that it all happens down here, and there's a lot of outside stuff to do. Finally, the rain has stopped. We have the most gorgeous weather today. So you never know. You start getting kind of down because the rain and it was so foggy and cold, and now it's just beautiful, beautiful weather. So everybody needs to come down to downtown Conroe, go to the Heritage Park, beautiful, beautiful park. And so we're going to talk about all of that and the new movies that start beginning on Friday. So I'm laughing because we've got this plate glass window in front of us, but that's between Conroe Coffee and our studio. And these people that are walking by, they must have been extremely short because all you can see is just their sunglasses on, and they kind of look up and they're just so short and trying to figure out what is that lady over there doing, just talking and talking. But anyway, so you guys, it's going to be a full week, and I want you to stay with us. Today we had, people drop out, but it's okay. There's always so much to talk about, and especially the controversial things that Richard loves to talk about. And he has his hand poised over the, is what you're saying is right. I don't know if what you're saying, Cindy, is right, so I've got to check it. He's always checking up on me. But I did want to talk about the this pipeline. Now, I know that's not something you've studied up on, the pipeline that's going through the Dakotas, and the tribes there are very upset about it. And they thought they had a victory the other night when they thought the Corps of Engineers was going to move it and not have it go under a certain part of the river that they thought would affect. It's about 1.5 miles away from their land, but that it would affect their water. So they were worried about that. And now it seems that's not, once they went back and looked at all the papers and stuff, that they have every right to do what they're going to do. And so they know that the fight is not over, and this is, going on and on. I can't stand when I hear about that, somebody's grabbed land saying that, this is the best for the people around here. And so we're going to take up this land and we'll pay you what we think it's worth, but we're going to tear down all your houses and we're going to use this property for whatever they're going to use it for. But this thing has been a long time coming. And then the environmental people got involved with this as well and talked about how it's going to really destroy the environment around there. And they're saying there's a big controversy about that back and forth. And you feel really bad about the Indian people, the tribes that are around there that are fighting this, because they don't usually make a lot of problems for anybody. And so this is a time they've come and, are trying to stand up, and they have built this huge, this village, tents and all of people have come to try and support this. It has built up, and they had a snowstorm last night. So the last thing I saw was, how are these people going to be able to survive this, because they're just in these little tents. And but they're trying to stand up for, and they believe in this. And my daughter heard, a story that they had done on it, and she came in and she was so mad at the government that they're taking over their land and they're going to destroy their water and all that. And I said, I don't think it's that bad, but I understand why it would upset you. I do. So I didn't know if you were up on that at all, Richard, and if you had any comment on it. I would be absolutely glad to hear your comments on anything.
Well, the last time I was reading that it wasn't their land.
It's
just
not,
near. It's
right.
just near their body of water.
That's exactly right. It's about 1.5 miles away from this,
Yeah.
and where they were going to enter the water and come up, it wasn't that big a deal, and they could do it safely without harming the water in any way. So, but they had to go back and recheck the papers to see where the land, to make sure that what they're talking about is just more of a spiritual thing of their land. They don't have a legal right to that land, but they feel like it's their land. And so that's how it came out, and that they were looking, like the martyrs for this thing. So that's what I was wondering. I know it's
what's weird to me about it was it all of a sudden started, because they've been doing this stuff for quite a while. The pipeline people,
right?
I mean, the pipeline didn't start being built there; it was being built somewhere else, and it was going to eventually get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a 50-50 kind of situation where half of it is a legitimate argument about the way the government pushes people around, but the other half is why would you? I know they probably already started protesting because they were actually there building it. Why not protest it before they got there? Because they weren't going to change their direction. They probably have more impact. They knew they'd get more impact if they protested while the trucks were there.
Sure. And they came in and then they put the hose on them.
But there's really, I couldn't find anything that was more of like a protest prior to that.
No. Yeah.
Because to me, that gives more credibility to your voice. Because you're like, we've been saying it from day one, they announced this stupid pipeline, blah, 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 blah. But like, I didn't really see anything of that. Any evidence of people complaining about it until it got there.
Well, I think you're right. I didn't either, and I was looking back on how when the EPA got involved in it, and that's when it got more legs to do the news and bring the news, and then the government people had to fight these people from blocking what they were trying to get done, and so it's not a governmental thing. It is, this industry that's bringing it through. But they say that Donald Trump, the reason that they've gone ahead with everything because they said that they know Donald Trump will be on their side. That's one of the things that they said, and now that makes them feel like, okay, now we're really emboldened. We're going to make this happen. But it seems like there could be some rerouting. That's what everybody was saying. They can reroute just to get it far enough away. And Scott Brown came out and said yesterday that he didn't realize how close it was to them, and that he feels like they may be able to pull back and help them feel better about it if they get a little further away from.
I bet that still won't be good enough.
I bet not for the environmentalists.
I bet they're going to propose that they give the land back to the people.
No,
I bet that's going to be brought up later. I'm talking like after this whole thing. It's like, hey, don't do this. It's ours.
Right. Well, I don't know. That would be amazing. Now, if Donald Trump can come in there and go like, we're going to reroute and everybody be happy, and we're going to let the Indians help, build this, help us reroute and give them jobs or whatever. So because of his this thing about Carrier, and the people are just carrying on and on and on about it. I don't get it. Why they're trying to make this a bad thing that he's done. The news.
Well, I mean, criticizing the media is very easy today. So I think hopefully it's going to be case studies in colleges and things just to see what decisions were made.
Oh, I'm sure they probably will.
Because there's definitely was a meeting of the minds. And they're like, how are we going to get more viewers? We got to get more viewers. Well, political season's up. Let's just throw the Hail Mary, and that's the play we're going to play until the game stops.
Well, I have something to say on this over the railroad crossing. I've got something to talk about on the Carrier thing because this is getting ridiculous. Okay, guys, we will be right back. Please don't go away. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
You're going to need me.
You're going to need us.
All of us.
You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food.
You're going to need our determination, our compassion.
You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring.
And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Today, 4-H is growing the next generation of leaders.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Hi, Hi, this is BJ Orner from Montgomery County Performing Arts Society. I'm here to remind you to get your tickets now for all the upcoming events that McPass has to offer. All shows will be held at the beautiful Crichton Theater in downtown Conroe. Call 936-441-7469 for your tickets today, or go to our website, www.mcpass.org, for more information. Hope to see you at the show.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. This is our last segment right now. And, okay, we're next door to Conroe Coffee. We talk about them a whole lot. Leo is one of the owners. She's from Britain. And then Jason, her husband, and he's a character, and he's so much fun. They're great people. And I had just gone over the carrier situation last week. We talked about when Donald Trump had announced that. And when I went back over to the coffee side of where the store is, Jason said, Cindy, come here a minute. Now tell me again about the carrier thing. What happened? They got $7 million to make them stay in the United States. Is that right? And not to go to Mexico? I said, well, I was trying to explain what the $7 million was. It was over a 10-year period. And he yells back to Leo, we're moving to Mexico. And I think that's what a lot of people are thinking companies are going to start doing. They're going to start saying they're moving so that the government will come in and give them some money and all that. And I think that it was interesting that the CNN and all those guys kept leaving out the part that this was something that had been offered to them before. And so this wasn't a new situation that they would give them $7 million worth of breaks and things like that over a 10-year period.
I bet what happened was Donald Trump calls the guy, the head honcho there, and said, listen up, bud.
Yeah.
I want to be the president of the United States.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you some incentives to stay. But if you decide to leave, I'm going to tweet how you're anti-American. I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to tweet it every week about how Carrier hates America, hates Americans.
And that you were on the bus with me that day in Hollywood.
I want to keep tweeting it because, I mean, really, I think that could be a bargaining chip to some of these companies because Carrier, they do ACs and stuff like that.
Right.
And if you give good enough rep to buyers that who you're buying from is a bad company because they hate America,
right?
Then you're going to hurt their business long run. Even if they make it in Vietnam with like children making the AC units, like it's still not going to turn a profit because no one's buying your product.
No, and the thing of it is, I think the cherry on the top deal is that they had 29 government contracts that could be taken away in an instant if they didn't want to agree with this. They had a lucrative deal going with the government. He steps in there and says, you know what? Those contracts can go away, and you're going to get $700 million for 10 years, and you're going to invest $16 million into the infrastructure of this company, and you'll start growing, and you'll be more than 1,100 people that are going to have jobs again. It's just going to grow. And this guy was just shaking his head like, yeah, that's what happened. That's what's going to happen. And they got, I just wish somebody would calculate what kind of advertisement they got and what that would be worth on that alone. The name Carrier has been said so many times in so many different ways. And so it's really interesting. And now he's got a new company he's targeting.
But like I said, I think that's a good strategy to approach these companies who sell to Americans. I mean, I know there's a cost of doing business and there's a cost of making a profit.
Right.
And when both those sides start getting messed with, what's the right reason to make a decision? Is it because you actually want to stay in business? Because long term, I mean, if you develop that reputation here in the United States that you're moving because you don't care about the American jobs that you offer.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because it is assigned to each company, to each business. That's why small businesses are so important to this country, because people don't realize how many small businesses there are.
Right. And I think
But same thing with big businesses. So,
but I think if that gives hope to, he isn't in office yet. This was, Mike Pence was the governor of that state, so he could go in with, remember when we said this? Well, remember when we said that?
I'm just waiting until Donald Trump learns how to take pictures through Twitter.
Oh, my word.
Because think about all that stuff he tweets. Like, think about where is he, what time it is, and then let's see if he'll post a picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm
you're
on the
right.
phone with the PM of Taiwan, and he's like, has the phone on, and he's like, sitting there. Oh, man, that was so funny.
Well, I think that the companies
and like all those tweets about CNN and like how bad news are. Can you imagine him sitting there and like thumbs down with CNN in the background?
Right. I'm kicking in the TV. I think that his, what he said, and this was really fascinating to me. He says, because the media is so crooked, this is the only way I can get out what I really think and what I'm really about. And he has circumvented all the press conferences and all that. He can just say what he wants to say, and this is how I really feel about it. Take it right from my mouth instead of having it filtered through the media. So I think it's interesting because this is a brand new world in the sense that if he's going to use it that way. I mean, Obama, brought a lot of the high-tech stuff into the office, but then they found out that bit him in the behind. But I think that now with him doing this, and everybody's waiting for the next tweet, he's making everything so much more interesting. So all this stuff about, it's so embarrassing to have him here and all this stuff. He's making really good calls on the people he's hiring, and now he's keeping everybody in suspense, and even made the list longer of the Secretary of State. I think that's so. I mean, he's just playing them like a fiddle, and they don't get it. They just get upset, and all this. I mean, because I watch news like 24/7, so all the stories of the newscasters, waiting for him to announce it, and they're doing all this prognostication of stuff that's doesn't mean anything because they don't know who he's going to choose. It's pretty funny. Okay, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Please be with us on the Cindy Cochran Show every morning from 10 to 11. And if you've missed anything, go to YouTube, look up the Cindy Cochran Show, and they're all there for you. And SoundCloud and every place. We're everywhere. Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schissler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schissler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.